is up in Presqu'île. We go from Presqu'île Harbor on 2 kayaks. My brother actually made his own kayak.
Yeah.
And they go on those kayaks around the point and into this bay called Albany Bay, where there's a steamroller shipwreck that's down in that bay, and they get
cool.
to kayak over top of it. And I had Nick Steffen from Aerial Alpena work with me on doing some aerial photography, some drone work, and just getting the exact feel for how big this boat is compared to these kayaks. And it's just amazing what you can find there. And these are just little small segments that can incite you to go to and do your own adventure and get out. And we actually on our site have directions to how to get there, little amenities, links to other sites from places that are around the area. And we just kind of want to give that exploring attitude to Michigan, because we have so much to explore, and get those people that maybe want to go out there and explore but don't know how to or where to start.
Right. So you just want to inspire people to get out. You go and check out some of these places they may have heard about, read about.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people in the rural areas of Michigan, some people flock to the big cities because there's so much access to everything, and they feel like there's nothing to do here. But I find so many things to do in these areas because there's so many options that you have. You just have to go out and get to these options, and we're literally giving you a guided tour on how to do it, and you can go out there and do it yourself.
That's pretty awesome.
I love that. It's like Behind the Mitten on video.
Yeah.
Well, since you are Alpena native, and if you're just tuning in, we are recording in Alpena this week. We're at Austin Brothers Brewery, and we're right now talking to Zach Irving. One of the things that I'm surprised to hear that you're focusing on is the music scene in Alpena.
Oh, yes.
There's a big music scene in Alpena, it sounds like.
It's huge.
Who
Alpena
knew?
has never been shy of how big the music has been here. It's just fluctuated, and it's coming back up. It's building its momentum, and it's amazing. All of the music on the Micro Adventure series is from local Alpena musicians, too. And all of the musicians that I've found around here, each one has their own type of genre, their own type of way they play, and it's all just unique to this area and to areas around us. And it's just really cool to see these people come out of the woodwork and be able to get highlighted, because really there's not much out here that these people can get highlighted. And we're trying to build more of this artistic and musician kind of scene here and show that you can thrive up here doing this. You just have to create what little idea you have, like the Micro Adventures.
I like that. Create your adventure just however you want to get there. But hey, on the music end, we're going to talk to a local musician in a minute, too. Is there like is it country? Is it rock? Is it blues? Is it jazz?
We do all genres.
Everything.
It's mainly original work.
Okay.
So it's anybody that has any original work. We highlight 5 of their songs, and then I talk to them for about an hour.
Whoa.
And it goes from folk to country to rock to techno. I've even had some rappers on there too as well. And so anybody that is from this area or passing through, we just like to bring them down there and learn a little bit more about their craft and kind of get to see what they're doing and get the word out there, because we need to get the word out there.
I love that. Well, good information. Now, since you have so many different things that you have going on, we're going to start now with you sharing how people can get information.
Yes.
So, Zach, if people want to maybe listen to your podcast, where do they go?
Podcast, you can go to our website. Our podcast is on there. It's MichiganBasementTapes.com. And you can find our podcast there. You also can find our YouTube channel, which has all of our basement session videos of different artists. And you can also go to our Facebook page. It's the Northeast Michigan Basement Tapes at Facebook. And then with the Micro Adventures, you can go to MichiganMicroAdventures.com. Again, that's MichiganMicroAdventures.com. You can learn a little bit more about the cast and the crew that worked on this. And then also you can see episode 1 on there and some of our promotional videos too as well.
That is awesome. Well, I love what you're doing, and I love your enthusiasm for the Alpena area. What a great guide you are to everything that's going on here in Alpena. So, Zach, thank you for joining us on Behind the Mitten.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. Well, John, we're going to talk more about the local music scene coming up next, and then a little bit later we're going to do Beer of the Week. So stay tuned to Behind the Mitten.
Hey, this is Zach Irving from Michigan Micro Adventures and Michigan Basement Tapes. You can find us at MichiganMicroAdventures.com or MichiganBasementTapes.com or on our Facebook page. And this is Behind the Mitten.
And welcome back to Behind the Mitten. John Gonzalez along with Amy Sherman broadcasting this weekend from Alpena, Michigan. Having a great time and learning a lot about the local nature, things you can do, but also some pretty cool things they're doing when it comes to music side, right, Amy?
Yeah, I did not realize that there's a kickin' music scene here in Alpena, but it's booming and growing, and they're doing all sorts of different things throughout the year. And we have one of the main pushes here. We got my pusher here.
Wow.
The music pusher in Alpena. Chris Crown, welcome, local musician.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You have your finger in a lot of pots, it sounds like, in the music scene here in Alpena.
I try to keep busy. I was actually born and raised here in Alpena.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Are you from here?
Base,
okay.
Yeah. I was in Grand Rapids the last 12 or so years.
Oh,
Played music down there.
Uh-huh.
And when I returned home, I wanted to kind of help revive the music scene and bring it back to where I remember as a teenager.
And so it really is a big music scene here with all different kinds of genres.
All different types, all different ages, from high school rock bands all the way up to adults performing like myself. So.
Like yourself.
Well, the only thing I really knew about Alpena and the music scene was that, and this you may not know, is that Garth Brooks performed here at the Alpena Fair before he was Garth Brooks.
I was there.
Were you really?
What was he called?
Garth Brooks, but no one knew who he was. You were at that show.
Yeah, it was a good show.
What did you think when you saw him?
I was just a teenager at the time, so he was a great performer. I knew he was going to go somewhere after that.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's
so,
funny.
Chris, what kind of music do you play, first of all?
I'm mostly blues at this point. I've gone through many different genres over the years, but I've kind of settled on acoustic blues. So it's more of a storytelling, acoustic, folk, blues blend. So.
Okay. And then you host some different events with other musicians around town throughout the year, right?
I do, yep. There's music pretty much every night of the week at some club or bar in town.
What are some of the hot clubs and bars in town?
If you're interested in an open mic type setting where anybody can get up and perform and jam, we have the Black Sheep Pub, downtown Alpena. Fresh Palette has their own bar behind the Fresh Palette called the Nucleus Lounge, and they have music there. Latitudes, and you can go down the list. Austin Brothers, they all have a little bit of music here and there throughout the summer and wintertime too, so there's always something going on.
What made you gravitate toward acoustic blues?
When I was living in Grand Rapids, I attended Frederick Meyer Gardens for a Keb Mo concert.
Oh, man.
And I was kind of a punk rocker at the time, but I always had a little bit of blues background.
Yeah.
And when I saw him entertain a crowd for 2 hours telling stories and talking about the history of the blues, that's when I went home and I told my wife, I need a new guitar. It has to be an acoustic. I locked the electric one away and haven't gone back. So.
Wow. He was that big of an influence on you.
I just love the stories and the history. And
that's one thing I do love about blues. I've been to a lot of blues shows over the years, and they do that. Unlike other genres, they will do that, and they'll say, all right, I'm going to play this next one, back in 1952, whatever, and they give you the backstory behind it, and then you can almost feel how that song was written or why it came to be, right?
Right. The blues has a very long, rich history.
In addition to playing at bars and clubs here in Alpena, you've put together a series in the summer that people can enjoy downtown Alpena, right?
Sure thing. When I lived in Grand Rapids, I was a street performer with Holland, Michigan. They have a great street performer series. So I registered with that, and I performed for 7 years. So I'd commute from Grand Rapids to Holland to perform. So then my wife and I decided we had to come back home to raise our son up in northern Michigan here in Alpena. So I met with Mary Beth Stutzman, and she kind of got the program up and running, got us some funding. So now we have 22 registered performers.
So it's a street performance group.
We perform
downtown
Alpena. Yep. Everybody has their own street corner.
And this happens during the summer months?
Yes, every Friday evening from 6 to 8. And we've been doing it 4 summers now. And this summer will be our first one. We're actually a non-profit organization, so we'll be able to solicit some funding and grants, so we'll be able to pay the performers a little more than the stipend that we had been doing. So.
That's awesome. So the performers get paid.
They get paid.
And then you guys provide entertainment all through downtown on Friday nights in the summer.
Correct. And the idea is just to get people out downtown, walking around, enjoying the restaurants and ice cream shops, and just come on down and hang out and enjoy the community, because summers are so short up here that you just have to get out every night that you can and do something. So we just add one more thing for people to do downtown.
What does that feel like when you watch and see all these people enjoying the music and knowing that you had a big hand in doing that?
Feels great. Feels great to see the community come together. And just one more piece to the puzzle to make Alpena the great place that it's been all these years. We just have to keep growing on it.
It probably makes you feel good, though, too, satisfied that the reason you moved back here, right?
Yes, yep. My wife is a little hesitant moving back because...
Is she from here as well?
Yes, she is. And when you move away for college, you think you're going somewhere bigger and brighter and more exciting. And we loved Grand Rapids. We still own our house down there, so we go down once a month just to kind of hang out. But we just knew we had to come home by family and the smaller community, a little slower pace up here. So she was nervous moving back, but...
How does she feel now? She okay with it?
She likes it, yeah. Okay. I said, if something isn't quite right when we get back, we'll just have to make it the way we want it to be. We'll inspire, we'll work hard, we'll do whatever we need to do to make the town what we want it to be. So
well, that's what it sounds like. You're taking it as a call to action almost.
We're doing our best.
Let's create the things that we want.
And we're happy to find out there's a lot of other people with the same mindset and the same goals to...
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Really taking back Alpena and making it great.
Yep.
Chris, who are some of the other performers you would recommend? I mean, these people that just like locally, you go, you know what, these guys deserve to be on a bigger stage. Who are the up-and-coming stars?
Well, I have a group that I'd recommend. We're called Chris Crown and the Get Down Band. We played all over different festivals in Michigan. We perform around Alpena, but there's a lot of other great musicians. One of my favorites, his name is Lee Kitzman, and he was the founding member of what's called the Thunder Bay Folk Society. So he actually met with a few people and got a nonprofit. So now we do folk music throughout Alpena throughout the summers. And then the end of the summer in September, we do a large festival. It's a 3-day music festival with musicians from all over the country come to Alpena and perform, camping all weekend long. So we have a really great festival. That's the last weekend in September. The Thunder Bay Folk Festival.
Oh.
Is there a beer tent?
Yep, we got everything there. Food vendors, yeah, it's perfect time. And it's always beautiful weather that last weekend in September. It's always perfect. So Lee Kitzman, he's the one that founded that, and he's a great folk singer from the 60s. So very entertaining to watch him.
Interesting. I've never heard of that festival. Look at all the things we're learning here now.
We are learning a lot
about it. We also have a blues festival in June.
I thought you had a blues festival, yeah.
I think we're 12 or 13 years in the running now doing the blues festival.
Yeah.
Are you headlining it this year?
Nope, we played it last year, but we take turns. So.
Okay.
You bring in some national regional acts, though, don't you, too?
Yep, definitely.
Like who?
We've had everyone over the years, from some Grand Rapids artists come up and perform, but we have people from all over the country. I'm drawing a blank on the names at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Not Garth Brooks.
Some great talent. Correct.
Yet.
He may return back to Alpena.
Well, he's not going to come to the blues festival.
You never know. You never know.
Someday he might make an appearance.
He might come back just to say he did it.
You should invite him. There you go.
There we go.
You should.
That's our goal for next year.
He actually remembers that show.
Back to Alpena.
When we talked to him last
year. He remembers every show. That's the thing. He's such a great performer, but he's also such a people person that he literally remembered the show and like everything about it. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, where did you play in Michigan? I played here, Alpena. I'm like, what? Alpena.
At the big fairgrounds.
The big fairgrounds, yeah. That's
sold out
incredible.
concert.
But music's like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Music will take you back to exactly where you were, what was going on, the smells, the sights, you know. You're the girl you were hanging out with, whatever. It just takes you back.
It's a very personal thing.
Very personal. You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Well, so you went to school in Grand Rapids then?
I went to Ferris for music business. They have an actual business program for musicians.
They do, yeah.
And then ended up in Grand Rapids after there. And
where did you play in Grand Rapids, out of curiosity?
Everywhere from Founders, when they used to do their open mics.
Oh, yeah.
The original Founders. Small little room there when everybody was smoking in Founders during open mic night.
Right.
And I remember going home and your eyes would be burning and stuff after the open mic. But I endured that for the music because there's a lot of great music that came out of those open mic nights. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Billy's? Did you play at Billy's?
Billy's, the Intersection.
Oh, the section.
Yep, we've been everywhere. I actually worked at Yesterdog when I was a graduate with a music business degree looking for a way to pay my bills. So I worked at Yesterdog for about 2 years.
You probably served me hot dogs then.
Sure I have. 2:30 in the morning after the late night.
That would be the time that you would be there.
Well, not when he was there. That's when I had my kids, so I was there during the day.
I see.
Okay, the good cover.
You're one of the mellow ones.
You went to the old intersection, though, right?
Yep, old intersection, Mulligan's, yep.
Oh, Mullies.
Sorry, we live in Grand Rapids, so we kind of...
I used to work at the old intersection.
Okay,
yeah. Down and dirty. All right, well, Chris Crown, if people want to get more information about you, your bands, and other things that you're working on musically here in Alpena, where should they go?
Head on to Facebook. You can check out Chris Crown and the Get Down Band if you're interested in my music and the blues that we play. We also have a Facebook account for the Alpena Street Performer Series. Thunder Bay Folk Society has their own account on there, so come on down, check us out.